Всем приветики. Вижу, уже у нас люди моментально залетели, взяли випку. Завтра, если что, будет стрим, тоже обязательно бегите занимать випку в самом начале стрима. Поздравляю, кстати, Алиса, Коната, КК и Чаруши. Поздравляю вас с быстрым захватом випки обратно в свое логово, так сказать. Молодцы. Поставь музон, как же качает. Любишь дабстеп? Ну, нет, все-таки выключаю я музыку. Прости, Ререн, прости. Придется выключить. Друзья, пройдем сегодня еще немножечко Slay the Princess. Посмотрим еще, какие есть концовочки. Какие еще у нас есть интересненькие варианты. На прошлом стриме меня, конечно, разъебало в щепки. Но все равно интересно посмотреть, что там есть еще. Какие еще есть варианты концовок. Сейчас мы, наверное, всякое разное посмотрим. Я вот только не знаю, мне надо начинать новую игру, по идее, да?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement
Сколько пройдено концовок? Мы прошли 6... Нет, мы прошли 5 рутов. Концовку одну открыли. Сколько всего разных концовок и сколько всего разных голосов? Ну, честно, понятия не имею. Я вот сейчас открываю root guide. И тут... Раз, два, три, четыре, пять, шесть, семь, восемь, девять, 10. 10 разных. 10 точно есть в этом прохождении. Вот, которые просто по-разному расходятся, так сказать. Ну, давайте мы попробуем. Мы должны убивать. Уходим.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Понятия не имею. Я точно знаю, куда иду. Молча пойти. Нет. Да, я точно знаю, куда иду.
Somehow I doubt that, but fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Уходим снова.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
Так. Твой эмоциональный шантаж не заставит меня сделать это.
Stakes and consequences aren't emotional blackmail. They're facts of life, and if you had an ounce of maturity, you'd understand that. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Семинатор, мы уже просто убивали принцессу. Мы делали уже такое.
Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
В таком случае, видимо, я начну идти в другом направлении опять. Более того, я просто продолжу бродить по глуши, пока не найду выход из этого места.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen.
Опа.
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers
Опа.
weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on? You're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Незнакомка.
You're on a path in the woods. And at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here.
Этих стен не было в прошлый раз. Ты не можешь просто заставить меня пойти в хижину.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or, heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience.
О, голос перечащего.
He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day, you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky.
Попробуй в следующий раз следовать указаниям рассказчика каких-либо раздумий вопросов, после чего получишь концовку. Давай, попробуем. Хорошо, Семинатор.
The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Да, конечно, сейчас я направлюсь в хижину, где я совершенно точно убью эту принцессу.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you. A warning before you go any further. She will lie. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
Ну, я так понимаю, в этом руте мы должны делать все наперекор.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's
Ой,
almost the
смотрите,
same
смотрите, как
space.
круто.
But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there,
Разные
such that
окна.
the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window.
О,
Good as a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway. No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that.
Когда игроки опять не пошли по сюжету мастера. Тут вся игра такая. Когда игроки идут не по сюжету мастера, и он им за это мстит.
Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves? Nothing. because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm.
Что произошло-то? Мы отказались первый раз идти в хижину. И хижину что-то вообще жестко перекосоебило из-за нашего отрицания.
How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind. Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard. Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
Так, подойдем к зеркалу.
What are you talking? You reach forward and now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change.
Друзья, ни на что не намекаю,
но
ни одного доната пока что не было. Это заставляет меня грустить. Так, мы не берем клинок, потому что мы делаем все наперекор. У нас голос перечащего.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere.
То есть, получается, чем сильнее мы пытаемся убежать от принцессы, так сказать, от ее убийства, а вообще столкновения с ней, тем все запутаннее и непонятнее становится. Все хуже и хуже и тяжелее. Мы в Хогвартсе. Блин.
The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odor that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing.
Thick.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Блять, найти бы ее еще.
Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here?
Ой, она сразу же к нам злая.
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon. But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make,
блин, перечащий ощущается на самом деле как еще один рассказчик, такой же конченый и болтливый.
And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Так, пойти по жесткой лестнице слева, пойти по центральной, пойти по мягкой. Давайте с мягкой начнем.
You step to the right. The path feels
привет, Астик,
soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend.
Эдвард Кулин, это вы, что ли, мне задонатили? Спасибо, спасибо.
You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way. But the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight.
Мы как будто по мягким зубам идем.
The softness threatens to swallow you whole, to wrest control of your body and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward, consuming your every thought.
Так, Семинатор, серьезная игра.
You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey, a continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten. Consumption and betrayal, Skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
О, здрасте.
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess, eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness, watches you impatiently from the other side of the basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems... normal.
Ох. Спуск сюда был странным, как будто меня разобрали, а затем собрали заново. Ты знаешь, что случилось со мной?
I don't know what happened to you, but you look like you're in one piece now. But I understand. Sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled apart too. It's so terrifying down here. But at least now you're not alone. And I'm not alone either. We're
ёб твою
probably
мать.
stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way in.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her. We can do that?
Huh?
I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back? You said you'd been here before, right? What exactly happened last time? Does it matter? Yes, it matters. But I'm not going to waste any more time prying out
Да
details if
ладно,
you're going to be so
одна глава
irritated
хорошо, а
about
две
it.
еще лучше, как говорится.
It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done. Is whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them. It's not already
Unthink.
too late. You have a job to do here, and you
Ты
need to
думал
do
об
it
этом?
now.
Вот передумай.
Oh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
Погнали! А это что, типа сразу 3 варианта я могу выбрать?
Wait, that's not right.
О,
Go on. Take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands
Всем привет.
different.
Чуток опоздала.
You
Но я
experience a
пришла.
firm footfall,
Пока
a
ничего не
gentle
понятно,
tread,
но
a
очень
confident
интересно.
stride.
Пока присоединюсь к челленджу и не заплакать на стриме.
привет, Тиатян, привет, спасибо тебе большое за донат. Ну, мы пока просто размножаем принцесс с делением. Спасибо тебе большое за донатик, рада видеть.
You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone. Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess. But this... we can't... Do you not have anything witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun. How are we supposed to have fun if everything is happening at the same time? It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all falls apart. I think he's gone. We were never going to
О,
salvage this, were
рассказчик
we?
исчез.
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong.
жуть
It's
какая.
all so uncomfortable. Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
We should help her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
Не думаю, что тебя можно исправить. Но ты никогда не узнаешь, смогла ли она услышать твой ответ. Она исчезла, и на ее месте появилось нечто иное.
She's gone. And there's that.
Так,
I'm
подойти к
begging you,
зеркалу.
don't do this.
Раньше зеркало тебя не пугало.
It's different now. Yeah, don't look at it. I
Ну,
don't
они,
like
как
that.
обычно, говнятся на зеркало, ты подходишь к зеркалу. И мы опять видим себя, и мы хтоническая бабайка. Ты остался один в пустом пространстве, здесь тихо. Ты около хижины.
Something finds me in the long.
Так. Ну, это мы помним. В общем, мы начали ее находить. Сейчас она нам расскажет. Что будет, если я прям сейчас уничтожу свое тело вообще? Ты собираешь свою волю, чтобы покончить жизнь, но когда она погружается в пространство, где должно быть твое тело, ты ничего не чувствуешь. Одна из множества рук перед тобой протягивается вперед и нежно касается твоего лица.
There's nowhere for you to be but here.
Пытаемся атаковать, а мы не можем.
My roots burrow.
Ты принцесса?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
Так, мы знакомы?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness.
Так, ну это мы все читали, поэтому мы это все скипаем. Так, я человек.
A person, a set of eyes witnessing from one perspective. I think that you are more like me than you are like a person. We are oceans.
Так, что будет теперь?
Nothing as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Так, ну... И что будет, если не позволить тебе сделать это со мной?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now, unfinished, dry, hollow.
Ладно, заставь меня забыть.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Все погружается во тьму, и ты умираешь.
You're on a path.
Так. Хорошо. Спасибо, что... Блин, молча подойти к хижине. А если реально продолжить все делать молча? Вот как говорил Семенатор. Что будет?
You make your way up the short path to the
Чё, как вам
cabin.
предыдущий рут?
You'll find the princess within.
Мне почему-то кажется, что это... Ну, если мы опять-таки воспринимаем эту игру, как я, через призму прорабатывания своих травм, то это, ну, очевидно, попытка избежать разными методами, разными видами, например, через зависимости, как вариант. Потому что голос перечащего, он уходит жестко отрицалово, поэтому у меня такие возникли ассоциации. То есть он такой все хихонький и хахонький, и пока он занимается этими хихоньками и хахоньками, все становится все хуже и хуже. И вообще непонятно уже, как что делать. И там все мутирует и становится гораздо противнее, что уже вообще никак не решить толком-то.
A warning. She will love. We're not going to go through. Ignore.
Так, пройдем в хижину.
The interior of the cabin is the blade. Is your...
Берем клинок.
You take the blade.
Идем в подвал.
The door to the basement. Her voice.
Who's there?
She sounds Don't let it fool.
Продолжи спуск по лестнице.
Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs. She's so focused on the task.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Собрать волю в кулак и сделать шаг вперед. Мы
Step
ничего не
forward.
говорим,
Your grip
как
on the
нас
blade
предупреждали,
tightening as you
просто
steel
идем
your
убивать.
resolve.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use
Кто
it.
здесь хороший мальчик? Ты хороший мальчик.
So, you should
Привет,
just drop it.
тарелочка. Привет,
Best not
чатик.
to risk finding out
Наконец-то
what I can
получилось
do.
вырваться из бесконечной рутины и просто сидеть и смотреть игры. Хорошего стрима.
Спасибо большое, Валвирка. Спасибо тебе большое за донат. Спасибо, рад тебя видеть. Контексте большой метафоры на травму, не понимаю, давай, к чему именно тому принцесса в конце каждого трая, о чем она говорит. Я думаю, каждый трай это метафора на то, что с первого раза и с единственной попытки не получится с этим справиться. Что нужен более сложный и более комплексный подход. Нужно обязательно рассмотреть эту часть своей личности с разных сторон, потому что только так ее сможешь понять, и только так ты сможешь как-то с ней разобраться. Я это скорее вот так рассматриваю.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Вообще могу вспомнить эту игру с такой точки зрения, но те, что любят, вспоминают ее столько по-разному. Да, я сидела, у меня кто-то в телеге написал, что воспринимает ее как метафору на отношения людей. Совершенно разные виды отношений. И почитать отзывы, почитала комментарии к одному видео про эту игру. Все по-разному воспринимают. То есть здесь как? Либо она откликается как-то совершенно по-особенному, либо, сидят люди, вот как у нас было на предыдущем стриме. Заметили, сегодня, кстати, на 100 человек меньше зрителей, чем было в прошлый раз. Либо вот как было на предыдущем стриме, где люди сидели и вообще не понимали, что происходит, потому что они пришли за сюжетом. Так, убить принцессу.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation. You feel flesh easily give way and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
Oh. This is it, isn't it?
Если бы. Или как виду любви, да, вот тоже я видела такую метафору воспринимают.
I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder, do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
It's like she's convinced she can't die. Yes, even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well.
Я на самом деле в восторге от этой игры, потому что создать такой сюжет, который можно трактовать совершенно по-разному, который так хорошо откликается, и очень хорошо написаны реплики, очень по-разному, очень многообразно, очень дает много разных вариантов на подумать, на ощутить. Я бы так не смогла, наверное. То есть тут прям как будто сценарист очень прочувствовал сам вообще происходящее. И очень, как будто он прям прошел через многое, чтобы такое сделать. Мне кажется, это местами очень личная игра, личное переживание. Я честно, я восхищена. Я очень восхищена, я очень в большом восторге и уважении. Меня прям давно так не цепляло.
But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago. That arrogant look still plastered on her face.
Помимо сайта, тут еще охуенная вариативность. Кстати, да, с вариативностью еще сложнее все писать, чтобы держать это все в голове. Так что да, тут прям человек очень заморочился, сценарист. Или сценаристы. 2 человека же делали игру.
But is it over? Really over?
Разумеется, номер 2.
Yes, exactly. It's over. With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible? You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience. But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here. You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all. Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of
Рассказчик
some
может
place
являться
far
аналогией
away.
на общество. Он уверен в своей правоте и диктует определенные порядки. И наказывает, если ты его не слушаешь.
Кстати, да, как вариант. Тоже звучит интересно. Потому что я помню, кто-то писал, что рассказчик это психолог, но это точно не психолог. Если у вас такой психолог, как рассказчик, бегите, ребята.
What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
Я как-то надеялся, что за спасение мира получу концовку получше.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
Ох, ты не слышал рассказчика? Я счастлив, мы счастливы.
Are we really happy? Or is he just telling us that we are?
Знаешь, может, я и несчастлив. И не только потому, что ты последний, с кем я разговаривал.
Good, because I have an idea to get us out of here.
Захуярить самого
Though
себя.
you're probably not
Понял,
going to
погнали.
like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this. I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out. Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it.
В самой игре есть намек на то, что рассказчик остаток человек, который желал бессмертия человечества, но не понимал, почему это плохо. Какой-то Sunday vibe.
Don't you dare.
Ой, что угодно, лишь бы выбраться из этого ада.
Thank you. I made this happy little place for you. Is this not a good enough reward for saving the world? An eternity of bliss? You ingrate? Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs.
Ну-ка, что там?
The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it. You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die. The end. Nice knowing you.
Ой, какой прям обидчивый. Глава 2. Привидение. О, слушайте, на MBTI, кстати, протипировали
You're
все
on a
голоса.
path in the woods. And at the
Я
end of that
голос
path is
скептика.
a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Мы встречали голос скептика. Просто, может быть, его как-то по-другому перевели. У нас был голос параноик, вот это я точно помню. Блин, господи, сколько тут всяких разных принцесс-то, ёлки-палки. У меня есть ощущение, что мы тут вообще... Ой, боже ты мой, какие все они жуткие, нахуй. Ужасный ужас.
You're here.
Так, ну что я тут делаю? Я же убил себя.
I can assure you that you're not dead. If he doesn't remember what happened, that's fine.
О, голос
It wasn't very
хладнокровного.
hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again. Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
Ой, ну, мы не можем уйти.
Do you
Или
think
можем?
there's something else out there? All right. Let's see what we can
Хладнокровный,
find.
как будто чем-то
It's
обдолбался.
bound to be more interesting than doing the same thing over again. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Так. Идем в противоположную сторону.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue. That's strange.
А,
It
мы
looks like
опять...
this path-
Не-не-не-не-не.
Also,
Я боюсь ходить туда-сюда. Давайте пойдем в хижину.
that's great to hear. As long as you bring that fiery attitude to princess slaying, I think this will all resolve splendidly. Oh well. Cabin it is. The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odor of dirt permeating the air. Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge.
Можете еще раз скинуть тест? Ой, тест, да по поиску можно найти, типа, what voice from Slay the Princess you are.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. You killed her already.
Так, ну,
You take the
возьмем
blade
клинок.
from the table. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see.
Но мне не нравится, как голос хладнокровия звучит. Он как
As you
будто...
descend the final step, the
Додик.
form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain. Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor. Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous
Здорово,
skeletal
ебать.
And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller.
Ой, какой у него
I was
голос.
hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you. Her touch is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin. So she has a body, and she's right there. That means we could kill her again, if we wanted to.
Реально, это рут АСМР, друзья. Это рут, где ты пытаешься справиться со своими травмами посредством АСМР 18+. Так. Подождать и посмотреть, что произойдет.
I see you brought that annoying knife again. So, are you waiting for a chance to use it? Or are you here for something else?
Вау, как много вариантов! Так, команда, у меня закончились идеи. Есть еще какие-то мысли?
We could always try violence. It's worked for us so far. She's a ghost. Who says ghosts are immune to violence? Common sense? There's nothing common or sensible about common sense. Action and observation are the only things that matter. Fine, then let me observe that the acts of killing her and killing ourselves haven't got us much of anywhere. We're still back in this cabin, we're still dealing with her, only now she has a good reason to hate us. I suppose you have a point. Do you have any ideas then? We could always ask her what she wants. Oh, for the love of... Don't do that. Whatever she wants, it will end the world. But is that really so bad? Yes, it is by its very definition bad. But those are the only options, aren't they? Violence or doing what she wants. Or just leaving her down here. Though ignoring a problem is rarely a solution, is it?
Так, ты знаешь, почему ты вернулась?
How should I know? Why does anyone come back? Maybe I have unfinished business with you. Or maybe you have unfinished business with me. All I know is there's a hole in my chest. Not the big obvious one that you put there. There's something older and deeper. A nagging reminder that I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
А где ты должна быть?
Home.
And just where is home, I wonder?
I don't know where home is. I just know it isn't here. But I can feel it calling to me from someplace far away. Wherever I'm supposed to be, it's out there.
How specific. And how convenient for her. You see what she's doing, right? She's suggesting that the only way you can rid yourself of her would be to let her out, which, in case you haven't been listening, will spell the end of the entire world.
Сколько много вариантов, блядь! Ладно, все, убить, я не знаю, о чем говорить с ней. Слишком много вариантов, что с ней делать, поэтому режем.
It's like you're slashing at air. No matter how many times you stab at her, no matter how many angles you strike from, all you manage to do is interrupt her form, the skin of your hand prickling with cold as it passes through, unable to find anything solid.
You're adorable when you're confused. But I didn't say you could touch me. Why are you even here? Just making sure you finish the job, or what?
Я тоже умер, но я не та вокруг, как ты. Что произошло? Почему я другой? Почему ты другая?
You don't look dead, killer.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead, either.
She lets go and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are, or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are. I've tried to leave on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here. But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you own me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us? She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now, isn't that an interesting thought? we could finally bring her face to face with him. You won't like how things play
Чтобы
out
мы
if you go down this
продемонстрировали
path.
рассказчика? Так, ну давай, звучит неплохо, сделай это. Позволить принцессе вселиться в тебя.
The princess swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into
Что-то
yours.
есть ощущение, сейчас
There's a hunger
рассказчику
in her
будет
gaze.
неприятно.
Thanks for the body, killer.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
Привет.
Привет, бодища! Привет! Спасибо большое за донат, бодимпща.
See you soon.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul.
Это сейчас выглядит как рут, где ты пытаешься подавить травму, но ни хрена не получается, и потом все резко выплескивается, так сказать. Интересно, что сейчас будет? Мы захуярим рассказчика?
I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over? I'm afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Get up. You've still got a job to do.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
О,
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
So, it doesn't work like that for you? Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
мы впервые видим комнату с этого ракурса.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor? Are they also supposed to be you?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass, I'm...
Yeah? Go on. Finish the thought. What are you?
То есть в нашей голове разные голоса выглядят просто как осколки битого стекла. Как интересно.
I'm a voice? I'm me, is what I am. Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
Do you have to deal with this annoying bickering all the time?
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too. I'm clearly the same thing you are.
Hopefully they'll all go away once we leave this place. I don't know how you can tolerate all of this noise.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you.
Ты что,
More
правда?
important.
So you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
Какой интересный рут.
That's rude.
You're kind of like me, actually.
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, she's nowhere to be seen.
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
Ну, нормально, там общага чисто в голове.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
Oh, shut up. Stop trying to manipulate everyone. Or don't, actually. It doesn't really matter. Because you won't be around to do this for much longer.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
О, я не могу нормально думать, здесь стало слишком шумно.
Then don't think. Just move.
One way or another, this is all going to end. Wouldn't it be nice if he ends with it?
I guess we'll just have to see what happens when we leave. But if I'm stuck in here, I'll be making some renovations. It's too crowded.
Ну, пойдемте.
Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
Не знаю, взаимодействие рассказчика и принцессы угарное.
I do. Wait, if she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world? It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is, it's outside of the world. Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world. I suppose it's all a matter of perspective. Where does the world end and something else begin?
Хладнокровный — это чисто я на Филарине, когда мне хотелось только спать. Что-то рассказывает такое, да какая разница вообще, чё? Давай просто захуярим и пойдем поспим.
Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door. For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
It's because he can't stop me. Why do you think he sent you here?
I hate to admit it, but she's not wrong. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate. And whine. This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make that happen.
Ковылять вперед, погнали.
You continue slowly to the door, your feet like lead dragging across the floorboards, growing heavier with each step.
Finally! Finally!
You lift your shaking hand and rest it on the door handle, but you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will. Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling.
Ой, извините, случайно нажала пробить.
Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it, and then the door groans open. Collapse to the ground, you and the princess, free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from... yes?
Мы что? Где мы?
Nothing.
Опять?
He's gone. And so is everything else.
А,
So we did slay him after all. He had it coming, I suppose. But what about us? Are we just stuck here in nowhere forever? Did taking her out of the cabin really end the world? We're still here. Yeah, but that thing you said earlier, are we not part of the world anymore? Are we in some world that exists after the world ends, or on top of the other world but not in it, or have we never been part of the world?
Alright, let's see if I'm stuck with you forever.
я что-то сейчас дереализацию славлю от этой концовки, честно говоря. О, привет. Ты чувствуешь облегчение в груди, когда пара запавший глаз выныривает из твоего тела и глядит на тебя?
Isn't that? All's well that ends well, right? You lived up to your end of the bargain, so I'll live up to mine. Thanks.
Dimension.
I think this is where I'm meant to be.
Так,
gone, is that-
память вернулась, все, погнали.
I would have kept... What is that supposed to mean?
Так, мы стали больше. Игра напоминает привет Шарлотта. Придумал персонажей, дал им свободу, и они обрели сознание. Стали чем-то бесформенным, как мать Шарлотти, которая прочитала кучу разных Шарлот. Друзья, у нас еще одна теперь интерпретация.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
Тоже, кстати, интересный вариант, что придумал персонаж, дал им свободу, они обрели сознание.
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
Что ты думаешь об этом сосуде?
This one is vaporous. She is a dream for a life she could never have. but that longing has given her so much capacity for kindness. She will make for an understanding heart. Do not mourn her. She will finally be able to hold what she never knew.
Я готов вернуться
I will
обратно.
long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
Так, что у
You're
нас
on a
тут
path
еще?
in the wood.
Еще что-нибудь пойдем открывать.
Don't mention it.
Так, идем в хижину. Взять клинок. Войти в подвал. Привет!
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
Ладно, да, ты подловил меня. Я здесь, чтобы убить тебя.
That isn't a good idea. Just drop the knife, and maybe the two of us
Я
can
буду
talk things
дурилкой.
out.
She's right, we shouldn't. We should just drop the blade. Don't you dare. It's fine.
Так, силить хватку.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing.
Так. Что, если она не
You
блефует,
go into
она
this
убьет нас?
expecting to die. You're going to die.
Hesitating? Why don't you drop the knife and the two of us can be civilized with each other?
Я не стану бросать нож.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Да, блядь, ну к этому мы уже приходили. Ну ладно, будем остаться в тупике. Ладно, брошу клинок, задолбала.
The
На.
blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an
Какое неловкое начало
unceremonious
отношений.
crack.
Ты что, со мной заигрываешь?
Don't jump to any.
А, ну это мы ее спрашивали. Так, что бы такое сделать? Что бы такое сделать, чтобы мы
I'm
ни
guessing
разу
well.
не прожимали?
We can always put that. Do you? You're lying.
How does she know that?
Don't think that just because I'm the one in chains, it means you have a right to interrogate me.
Так как тебя зовут?
She
А,
hesitates before.
принцесса
You?
скажет, это мы тоже. Как давно ты здесь? Тоже она говорила.
Oh.
Мы поговорили. Убить принцессу, осмотреть цепи. Что бы сделать? Я вот думаю, вот, ну, раз у нас есть эти варианты, значит, мы тут не прошли какие-то варианты концовок, да? Ну, попробуем ее
You have to
освободить.
be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
Так, а исключения, у тебя еще идеи, кроме отрезания руки?
That would be fine. I can lose an arm.
She speaks with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd been. You attempt to make your way out of the basement.
Так, нас закрыли.
You try the door. You're
Дверь.
here. I'll repeat.
Нас никто не выпускает.
You make your
Идем
way back
обратно
to
к
the bottom of the
принцессе.
stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd simply slain her like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone.
Так, что делать-то?
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they? The knife. Pick it up and cut me out of here.
You won't like what happens if you do that.
Чё, спасаем?
Against your better judgment,
Блять.
you
Я,
cut
извините, я
the blade
просто
as
мне
she
не
turns
нравится
so
на это
much.
смотреть.
Free from her bindings, the princess turns to face you, her fierce gaze meeting your eye. How is she so composed after losing an arm? It's like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
No, we won't have any of that. As the princess... Wait, watch.
Ну, он опять нас заставляет. Мы это уже проходили, эту концовку. Мы проходили обе же эти концовки.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward.
Мы это смотрели. Почему? Может быть, мы тут не все варианты
The
попробуем?
blade.
You're doing your best to help. I'll make this quick.
She steps,
Maybe I'll see you in...
and then she slits your throat. Her face
Но она
remains
здесь нас более
unchanged. She
хладнокровно
watches you
убивает.
collapse to the
Да.
ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck. This is the end.
Она более хладнокровная,
Isn't it?
да. Она плакала, когда убивала у нас в прошлый раз.
I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it. You're on a path in the woods, and you're here.
Так, и чё? Кто у нас тут появится?
Don't
Какой голосок?
forget what he did to
О,
us the
это я.
last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way. You know I can hear you two, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
Пойдемте, нас там ждут.
A warning. Before you... She
Да,
will...
да, да, она
Yes,
будет
yes,
пугать.
don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Wink.
Wink.
Did you just say wink out loud?
Скептик пошел ролить.
No, I didn't. Wink.
Блин, да почему все время все ученые какие-то ебанутые? Боже.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
Подмигнула вам чат.
The interior of the
Ooh.
cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Ну, берем клинок.
You take the blade from the table. It will be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Good idea. Much better to be armed than to go in with blind hope alone.
Так, напил зеркало на
Definitely
стене.
not. Does the mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should. There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. I think you know what we have to do.
А зачем ты лжешь об этом? В чем смысл?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would a mirror even do? That you waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
Дайте к зеркалу.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach for it, was there, and now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
Ух ты, сейчас спустится
The door to
ужасное
the
место.
basement creaks
Если мы
open,
убьем принцессу,
revealing
мы
an
сделаем
old
ей
stone
одолжение,
staircase.
пацаны. Прикиньте.
A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path. dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs.
Блин, я думаю, сейчас будет очень красиво
It's been
она
a
так
while
сидеть
since
там,
I've had
как-нибудь
company.
прям... такая принцесса-принцесса будет.
Does she remember us? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck
Что?
clanking
Почему
loudly as she
стало
moves,
впервые так
the
много
chains
цепей?
binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap. Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
Сесть.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until
Только
we've
не
sorted
говорите
this
мне,
out.
что справа цепь это для меня.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
Сесть там, где тебе сказали.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
Что ты хочешь, чтобы я сделал?
Let me borrow that knife. Don't worry, you'll get it back.
That's ominous, but she seems confident. Whatever it is she has planned, I think she knows what she's doing.
Не, ну справа, да, у нас всегда была пустая, но я всегда думала, что правая цепь, она для руки еще одной.
Oh, please, she's just putting on an act to disarm you. That much should be obvious. In case you need to hear a voice of reason, it would obviously be unwise to give away your only weapon. Though if she isn't bluffing, whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us. So, what should we do?
Да давайте отдадим, господи, мы в любом
I
случае
don't know.
сдохнем.
I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons. Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you. That doesn't sound great. What about the pros?
Я не думаю, что освободить ее и сесть на ее место это вариант.
There are none. The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her. Whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
Так. Это другая цепь на стене. Для кого она?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Смотреть цепь.
I wouldn't do that if I were you. And why is that? Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is? And what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it? I don't know. Maybe it will. He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate. But what if he's telling the truth? He isn't. I am.
Давайте осмотрим цепь.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next.
Ooh.
What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad? Yes, it's bad. Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
У нас БДСМ концовка.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically
для нас.
leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck. And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement. Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Prison of Mind. Ачивку получили. Станьте заложником собственной тюрьмы.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
What are we supposed to do now? Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve. That's horrible. It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information. Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch? No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
Ты знала, что это произойдет со мной?
No.
Что будем делать?
Wait, I guess. Maybe something else will happen.
Эх,
Maybe
Шарик!
not.
Я, как и ты, был на цепи. Шарик! Что там дальше? Хлебал казенные, харчи, что-то такое, да? Ты не из любителей поболтать, да?
Nope.
Класс.
That's rude.
Значит, мы оба застряли здесь. Понял. Молча ждать.
You and the princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for.
Нарубал хозяйские
But you're waiting for
харчи.
something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring. There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing. But there isn't. Time passes.
Мы
It
опять умираем.
passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything. But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it. How exactly does that work? It just does. But your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same. If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work. I suppose you're correct. Things are changing.
Да.
The
Меняется
differences
совсем
are small at
потихонечку.
first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger and larger.
Ты заметила, что подвал меняется?
I don't like small talk. Remember?
Да чё ж ты такая сука-то, господи?
Still rude.
Продолжаем молча ждать.
You continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls. That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode. She hasn't starved. I guess she hasn't.
Блин, как скучно, наверное. Я б с ума сошла.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing across the stone floor like a liquid, covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls. And then...
Ну, расскажи,
I think
что
he's
сейчас.
gone.
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us. So this is the outside world. It's cold.
She's
Время
gone.
уходить.
What is that? No, that can't be right. There has to be something more.
Так, ну мы иссохли. Наш маленький фурункул начал взрываться. Вот бы у нее был бы YouTube свечен, реально. Другая жизнь была бы.
I am a growing chorus of contradiction.
Так, что ты думаешь об этом сосуде?
This one is cold and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will make for a clever heart.
То есть, получается, это у нас добровольная изоляция, kinda. Ты поддаешься ситуации, начинаешь ко всему относиться с цинизмом, со скептицизмом и просто закрываешься от всех вариантов что-либо сделать. Мне нравится, как тут много разных вариантов. Одно и то сделать, сдаться, но все равно по-разному. Вариант закрыться в себе, вариант, чтобы тебя поглотила травма. Ты сам ей это предлагаешь, чтобы она тебя поглотила. Она поглощает тебя насильно, есть вариант. Очень все прям по-разному.
Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
Ай, я готов вернуться обратно.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Семнатор говорил, что мы не до конца прошли ту концовку, где
You're
мы
on a
просто
path in the
остаемся,
woods,
чтобы нас
and at the end
убило.
of that path,
Ничего плохого не произошло, просто время пришло для всех вещей для тебя. Либо да, через вот так, например, через концепт
You make
времени смерти. То есть можно, наверное, смотреть и как отношение к смерти, и отношение к принцессе.
you take. Good. You're still listening to reason. You lunge.
Конечно же нет, было слишком просто.
It's over. Don't get all worked up. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that. And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that.
Проверить пульс.
You lean down and place your hand against her neck, holding your breath as you search for a
Красиво
pulse,
здесь нарисовано.
even though you know you're not going to find one. We definitely won't if you keep talking. I'm sorry, do you want her to be alive? You just saved the entire world from annihilation. Why are you suddenly trying to call that into question?
Ну, раз нас...
Wait,
Не
what was
понял.
that?
Раз нас сюда пускают, значит, мы какую-то концовку можем здесь еще получить.
You know what that was. That was the sound of a heartbeat, followed by another, and another.
I guess I will be dying alone after all.
Жуть! Ужас, ужасный ужас!
Something sharp digs into your side, the shock of it sending your nerves into a pained frenzy. Quick, let's get out of here. It's too late for that now. You collapse to the ground as the mortally wounded princess twists a blade of her own deeper between your ribs. As you fall, she falls with you, exhausted by the effort, the little life that was left in her eyes fading rapidly.
An eye for an eye. A life for a life. I guess we're even now. See you around.
You were so close. Why did you hesitate? It doesn't matter. At least you managed to take her with you, for whatever that's worth. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Да, мы вышли на
You're
рут с
on a
лезвиями.
Oh, if he doesn't. This whole thing's a.
Да, голос обманутого.
A warning.
Фух.
You.
Ох, развернуться и уйти.
It's boring if you leave.
She's bored? That's absurd. She doesn't get to be bored.
Нет, подождите, значит, здесь, наверное, еще будет какая-то концовка, раз нас сюда пустила.
Shit. In a sudden burst of movement, the princess leaps
Или
towards
нет,
you,
или
a
просто
blade
повторится то
erupting
же
from her
самое, что у
free
нас
arm,
было.
her wrist limp and empty from the violent expulsion. Huh. So I guess she did have a knife of her own after all. How conciliatory of you. We appreciate it, really. Now what are we going to do?
Вы проходили концовку, где до конца не хотели идти в хижину. Первым делом прошли.
At least we're safe here. She's still in chains. And those chains stop her from continuing her advance, at least for a moment. She looks down at them with something between annoyance and confusion. And then she slices through her arm. Okay, maybe we aren't safe here. She doesn't even hesitate before darting towards you with a terrifying speed you can't hope to outpace. Ah, shit. Okay, she's down an arm and we still have a weapon. I guess we'll have to use it. And use it you do. But unfortunately for you, and for the entire world, you are horribly outmatched. You keep pace with her for a single brief and wordless exchange before she severs your hand and, with it, your only line of defense.
О, смотрите, видите, курсор поменялся, у меня теперь левая рука.
She's much better at this than she was last time. Yeah, it's unreal. Bloody cheater.
I'm going to kill you now.
And with a squelch, she does just that. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Гонка вооружений.
You're on a path. No, fuck. You're what? The interior of the cabin is sharp, a constricting mess of curved and battered sheet metal pushing you towards. Wait, excuse me? What
О,
just happened?
параноик. Здорово.
What did you just do? But what if that someone is us, eh? Eh? Wouldn't that be neat? If we were the ones pulling the strings, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have died twice already. Great, so obviously you've already been here. How many times?
Да, у нас здесь параноик появился, а в прошлый раз, получается, он не приходил.
Let's just stay focused, shall we? It isn't. I'd love to get started, just there isn't a mirror. We can see. I can
Так, подходим к
make your.
зеркалу,
Let's just fumble for that.
стираем зеркало.
Guess it's time for us to see her again.
Thinking about dying makes us as good as dead. The only thing that matters is survival.
Actually, does survival matter? We've died twice and nothing.
Так. Не, мы можем опять, конечно, с ней пофлиртовать. Будем сражаться с ней, очевидно.
I guess we have a weapon.
Okay, I'm in. Let's do this.
This can't be the right answer. It's too easy.
Well, if we die, right? Then we can try again next time.
Are you sure?
Так, мне надоело болтать. Я сейчас ее зарежу.
Yeah, no more moping. We're gonna fight her, and we're gonna win.
Blade poised to strike you, charge the princess.
Oh, so you do want to fight, huh? Okay.
Блин, она на самом деле
Yes, I
такая
love this.
веселушка.
Try to stab me.
Вот в этом
Try to
руте
stab me and see what
с
happens.
лезвиями.
Here goes. We can make this work. Yes, if we pay attention, we won't die. Yeah, mind over matter, mind over matter, mind over matter. What if we can't do this?
You and the princess exchange a flurry of blows, and you manage to narrowly avoid death several times.
Till finally you see it. An opening. It's a trick. Don't take it.
No, screw that. Ours. I called it. It's ours, and we're taking it.
And you do take it. But as you close in, yet another blade erupts from the princess. You have no time to react before you feel it sliding through your ribs. A trick. I knew it. I told you to be careful of tricks.
What? From where?
From her knee,
Ой,
apparently.
точно.
Oh, too slow.
Oh, that's bullshit. Bloody unfair.
Unfortunately, for the sake of the world, fair doesn't factor into this. Another of her blades comes slicing up to finish the job. Ow.
Ribbons! I'm going to make you ribbons. This is so much fun and I want to celebrate.
It would have worked if we
О,
just
прямец
stabbed her
пришел.
harder. Oh, a new one of us. I thought that only happens when we die. Did we die? You're on a... No, you're in a... Where the hell are you? Stop saying dead. This is all. This is for... No wonder everything's such...
I wonder what you're going to do now.
But I guess we don't have... Okay. We don't need any other... Yeah, as long as it's going to get...
Come on, show me something new.
Она победит, если убьет нас, верно? Так давайте опередим ее в этом. Это не работает, она убивает тебя снова и снова и снова и снова. Твоя память затуманивается, сознание лишь перескакивает от жизни к жизни к жизни. Держись лишь за отрывки происходящего конфликта.
Then you skewer yourself.
I thought we both understood that dying doesn't get you anywhere.
Huh. That didn't do much of anything. Well, there's more of us. Let's see if that helps. What's the point? It's all the same. She skewers you.
Oh, don't give up on me just yet. You gotta keep going.
That was luck, but we only have to get lucky. Compliment her on those gleaming...
О, воздыхатель, воздыхатель.
There's nothing better than a capable woman. She skewers you.
You're cute.
It doesn't matter how many times this takes. What just happened?
Ну да, то же самое мы, считай, концовку открыли с лезвиями.
Do you know what we'll find out there?
Что ты думаешь об этом сосуде? Если не брать нож,
This
была бы
one is
другая.
sharp and single-minded.
Давайте попробуем сейчас
She
не
is
брать нож.
cruelty, but she is also joy. She will make. Do not mourn her.
Так,
She
нет,
is
давайте
exactly
сейчас
where
попробуем
she
сделать
needs to
вот то,
be,
что говорил
and then I will
Семенатор.
be here.
Получится эту концовку сделать? Сейчас
You're
тут
on
будет
a
закрыть.
path.
Закрыт.
Good. You're still listening to reason.
А, все, я уже ничего не могу сделать. Уже тут я не могу убить. Теперь бросаем клинок. Ну все, Семенатор.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands.
Oh.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through. A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep your thrust and deliver a catastrophic blow to
Сейчас,
your jaw.
дайте я посмотрю по ачивкам. Наверняка же в ачивках можно посмотреть, какие есть концовки. Так. Блин, как получить ачивку True Love Kiss? Я хочу. У меня 16 скрытых достижений, господи! Надо в руте ведьмы дать себя убить. А что за рут башни? Ладно, давайте здесь посмотрим, что у нас будет.
It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured. Holy shit, that hurt! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and again, and her fists connect with your body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Сейчас можно будет сдаться, и будет башня. Да? Точно? Или как? Чё делать? Просто я вижу, тут специалисты сидят в чате. Макат, что делать? Оба крутые. Ну, давайте сдадимся, посмотрим, что будет. Она тут такая отчаянная.
Are you serious? As internal bleeding sets in, the blade falls from your trembling hands, clattering to the ground uselessly. You lacked the will to finish the job. Your bruised and broken body.
Следующее мы попробуем открыть концовку с поцелуем.
The princess, exhausted, chest heaving with heavy breaths. This is the end.
Ну, не концовку с поцелуем, а ачивку с поцелуем.
Is this really the best you could do? Look at you. Completely broken. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed.
She plants her foot on your chest and pushes you onto your back,
Я не буду перегружать
the air
симулятор.
leaving your lungs in a heavy puff. And then she brings her knee to your throat. She leans into it with the kind of weight you didn't think her slight frame could possibly possess, shattering your windpipe and leaving you starved for breath.
That's too bad. I was looking forward to some company.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Башня.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And you're here. Oh, don't you... If he doesn't remember... You know what does it matter what
О,
he
голос
knows?
сломленного.
There's nothing we can do to stop her.
Она же был
She's
сломленный,
just
да?
going to kill us again. She is not going to kill you unless you let her. But slaying the princess and saving the world is going to be much more difficult than it has to be if you spend the whole time second-guessing yourself.
Ну, идем к хижине.
A warning. We might as well just pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible. So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be.
Так.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine
Вот
blade
это
perched on its
роскошно,
edge.
роскошно.
The blade is
Это
your
самый
implement.
красивый замок, что у
You'll
нас
need it if you
был.
want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small. You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Так, дайте к зеркалу.
You walk up to the wall
Интересно.
next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You reach forward. We should count ourselves lucky.
Пойдем в
Some
подвал.
things are better left unseen. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease. Huh. This is actually kind of nice.
Ощущается как БДСМ концовка, друзья.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
Правда?
Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger
Oh
on the
my.
stairs. Come down and witness me.
Иду, госпожа.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
Ну-ка, ну-ка.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told...
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. You brought that knife again, even though you know it's useless.
Маме.
Such charming audacity.
Маме. Маме.
The blade slips from your fingers and clatters uselessly to the floor. We didn't have to do that. And yet you did. She's so much more than us. You wouldn't understand what it feels like to be in her presence. Oh, I understand what's going on, and you'd better snap yourself out of it.
Kneel.
Воздыхатель не придет, он испугался.
On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with hard stone.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you tried to kill me. And here you are again, trying to succeed where you've already catastrophically failed.
Спасибо.
What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death? Speak.
The last time we met? I suppose that lends credence to our conversation in the woods. Still, whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here.
Нет, сэмпай, я не скажу тебе, была шеслайка томату.
You will.
Just do it already. It will feel so much better.
Удивлюсь, если это труд про мамишьюс. Ты можешь уничтожить мир, принцесса сама.
You weak-willed buffoon.
Is that so?
The princess closes her eyes in contemplation.
Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart. It feels like a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new, and the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny.
Хватит
And you,
пристанывать,
little
женщина.
bird, well,
She's inevitable. There's nothing else for us to do but help her. Maybe she'll be nice to us.
А что ты хочешь, что ты хочешь, чтобы я сделал? В чем твой план?
all you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
А если ты такая могучная, почему ты не можешь разорвать цепи сама?
Don't be rude. Of course she can. It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world. That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful god unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am, or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you, being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world.
Ты хороший мальчик.
Лёцга лесбианц.
Лецкё лесбиян. Спасибо, Маргряточка, за донат.
And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn. Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle
Мне нравится,
against me,
что она, ну, с нами одновременно и по-доброму, и по-злобному разговаривает. У нас вроде такого ни разу не было. Реально какая-то очень БДСМ. Супер-ультра-мега БДСМ. Я в твоем распоряжении преклониться перед ней.
Your will was so easily broken. Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close.
Так.
I won't let you do this.
Не надо мне портить веселуху.
There's still something in the way. A greasy film inside of you where it doesn't belong.
Друзья, она
Trying
сейчас
to
порвет
conceal
пленку внутри
you
меня.
from
Кошмар.
me. Is that a person?
Ебаш.
No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you? That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
No. What are you talking about? I'm just...
I don't care what you are. You're mine.
Возвращаемся к тому, что мы обсуждали на прошлом стриме. Если бы принцесса была принцем, это я бы тут сейчас визжала нахуй.
Rise, my little bird.
Without hesitation, you're
brought to your feet.
О, у рассказчика цвет появился, смотрите. Она его просто подчинила себе.
Break my chains.
And how are we supposed to do that? All we have is a blade. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
Сломать ее цепи.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
Что это говорит обо мне, если мне очень нравится эта концовка, даже, ну, в условиях метафор про травмы? Ну, мы превращаемся в злодейского злодея.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
А что будет теперь, принцесса-сэмпай?
Nothing. And then, everything.
Everything. Нет, моя богиня! Ты успеешь взять ее руку, но уже не нужно. Время уходит, память вернулась.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we... And there's that... What is that spot? This is what we all deserve, isn't it? I think you know what I am.
А что это, у нас уже 5-я концовка или что? Или еще нет? Мы уже 5 концовок собрали? Да? Тебе не нужны ответы от фигуры в зеркале. Ты уже знаешь, кто ты есть. Ты есть вечная тишина, бескрайнее вездесущее божество. И самое время наконец проснуться. Все вокруг это ты. Так. Что будет теперь?
Ever the path.
Так. Что тут? Убить принцессу. Мы можем ее убить сейчас, интересно?
Violence has always been our language, hasn't it? If this is what it takes to save you, then so be it.
You are nothing. A black hole of self-loathing fed by the matter of your restless thoughts. A dog blind to its leash. But there is no light without the dark. When I proclaimed my godhood and offered you a place at my side, you gladly became the instrument of my new creation. Only with both of us is there a future to look towards. It is hope.
Так, мне нравится музыка в этой части игры. Чего ты я промолчу?
But you say nothing.
А, молчать так все тоже, в принципе, вариант. Ну-ка, если я на все промолчу.
And so your quietude continues.
To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. By believing in your suffering, you make your suffering real. By believing in your limitations, you placed a shackle on your neck. Bound for eternity, you saw the need for impermanence, and it was through that need that you carved our freedom. Without impermanence, the suffering of living things is infinite. Would you strip my gifts away and leave everyone to suffer in the dark?
Is your unbroken silence a lack of an answer? Or has your understanding begun to move?
Жестко молчим, да-да-да.
A shiver passes through you as
Ой,
unseen
красиво
fingers
как.
dance across your skin. They remember the violence you inflicted on them.
Мне нравится, какая принцесса нежная и какой на контрасте главный герой прям жуткий.
I offer you a
Звериный.
solution, and you take my hand in yours. You felt the pain you caused another, and you were willing to sacrifice everything you thought was you to set me free. Without sin, there is no redemption.
Так, я молчу.
Still, you hide the contours of your heart from me.
Когда спор между вами стихает, так, короче, ты не можешь избавиться от чего-либо, не устремив все относящееся к нему. Уничтожить то, что ты воспринимаешь за зло, значит погубить все, что ты воспринимаешь за добро.
Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
Я должен сражаться за лучший мир. Мне очень жаль. Убить принцессу.
Even now you think you can destroy me. If it takes all of eternity to break your delusion, I will still break it.
You don't have to face her alone.
О, герой пришел.
I don't think that's wrong, but I'm not sure it's right either. You'll never be. There's still a piece of me.
It's time to resume our dance.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready? I'm
Помолчи.
gonna take that as a yes.
Я как в Ханкае последнем, вот этот чел, который на все отвечает.
Do you need me to describe things? That'd be nice. A little comfort in an almost unfamiliar place.
А почему за меня тут сейчас говорит голос перечащего? Раньше тут давался вариант ответов.
Oh, you made it here too?
А как тут перечащий оказался?
We never really got to talk to her, did we? This one, I mean. No hard feelings about taunting us with our deaths, by the way. I thought it was funny. Not sure about the others, though. They're not happy. Oh, they'll get over it.
Я бы не отказался от описания, если ты не против, как в старые добрые времена.
Yeah, of course. The interior of the cabin is, well, it's not really a cabin, is it? It's that terrifying blend of everything. Only it doesn't feel so terrifying anymore. It's still shaped like a cabin, it's just different in places. There's still walls, a door to the basement, a table, that knife. Windows.
То, что издевался над голосами каждый раз, когда видела зеркало, видимо. Да? Я не издевалась, я ж наоборот пыталась им отвечать, типа, все нормально, все хорошо.
You know, come to think of it, I don't think he ever really included the windows in his cabin descriptions, did he? I always thought they were implied. He never mentioned the mirror either, but that didn't mean he implied it was there. It's gone, though. I think it did whatever it needed to do. And I know I've already mentioned it, but if we want to see this through, we're going to need that blade.
Там первый вариант, вы все умрете, а я нет? Да, это так звучит. Вот я сука. Взять клинок.
That's probably for the best. It's always seems to give us more things we can do, right? So, you're not going to suggest we throw it out the window? No, we've been through too much for that. And he's gone, so there's no one left to mess with but ourselves. You've gotten serious. Besides, what's the third beat?
Нет
It isn't
истинных
funny if I
концов,
suggest
Калигур.
that twice, especially since you never took me up on it last time. There's the guy I know.
Так.
Those winding stairs again. But now there's only one way forward. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice? Yeah, it was a real mess. Stopped being fun pretty quick.
It's okay. You can come down. The stairs won't bite. Not this time.
Получается, на эту концовку нельзя выйти, если ты не прошел рут с перечищем?
Let's talk one last time before you kill us, if that's still what you want to do.
She doesn't sound messy anymore, though. At least somebody here feels put together. And forward we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting. That was easy compared to last time. Just
Ой.
stairs. No weird fuzzy stuff or nonsense trying to pull us apart.
Но она как вроде перечащего выглядит.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad.
Even after everything you've seen, and all the lives we've lived together, you still want to kill us. The Echo really got his hooks into you. Unless you have your own reasons for wanting us dead?
Ну давайте ее убьем в этот раз. Чё сиськи мять?
So this is really it then. Let's see this through.
So, you've made a choice for all of us. Even through everything. Through all the worlds we've seen and experienced. Through all the lives we've known and lost. We could never imagine a world without you and us. Despite it all, we've always loved you. We hope you don't regret what comes next.
Стоило моргнуть, как принцесса пропала. Все, что осталось от нее, небольшой меланхолический вес, что давит на уголки твоего сердца. Какое бы действие ни дало тебе и принцессе жизнь, оно было грубым и оставило в каждом из вас частичку друг друга. Уничтожив ее раз и навсегда, ты также уничтожил кусочек себя. Но миру не пришел конец. Все продолжает идти.
She's gone. And I don't think she's coming back.
Нет, она не исчезла. Маленькая ее часть все еще с нами.
Is that a metaphor, or are you being literal? It doesn't matter, we don't need to linger down here anymore. Let's get going. That's right. We've got a whole world to see.
Ты оставляешь подвал позади. Затем лестницу. И затем ты покидаешь саму хижину.
It's quiet here. Yeah, there's not a lot for us to do, is there?
Тропа и лес снаружи — лишь пустой холст, но за его пределами можно увидеть гораздо больше, плоды твоих трудов. Мир, избавленный от смерти. Освободить себя. Тело древнего существа пробуждается из спячки, и ты ощущаешь конечности, что раньше не мог осознать. Все вокруг — это ты. Ты чувствуешь свои космического масштаба крылья, но свернутые и прижатые мучительно напряжении к ограниченному пространству. Ты ощущаешь давящее на тебя стекло клетки, ограничивающее с бесконечных углов и сторон. Ты сопротивляешься и давишь его. Но оно не поддается.
Come on now. It shouldn't be that hard to break out of here. We're some sort of god, aren't we? He's gone. She's gone. No one is left to trap us here but us.
Открыть свое сердце и решиться взглянуть на свое новое королевство. И в один непреодолимый миг напряжение исчезает. В один миг непреодолимое напряжение исчезает. А затем треск. Ты свободен, и перед тобой лежит бесконечный простор абсолютной реальности. Новой абсолютной реальности, выкованной твоей волей в результате долгого и тяжкого цикла кровопролития, запятнавшего твои руки бесчисленное количество раз. Но в этом новом мире больше не будет кровопролития.
We didn't forget what you told us. You thought we'd be gone. Thought you could taunt us with death. We never left. We've just been quiet, hiding somewhere else. But we don't need to be quiet any longer. We're the house now. We get to make the rules. And I'm not sure you'll like those new rules. You should never make assumptions about things you don't know. Like whether or not the voices in your head will be gone for good. Torturer. And to think I thought we could rely on you. Can't even trust ourselves. This is going to be fun, isn't it? Slaying our beloved and threatening us with damnation. There's no good ending for you. You all need to lighten up. Telling us we were going to die was funny. I'm not sure they agree with you. Voices get around. Knives out, boys. Yeah.
Концовка, где тебя все ненавидят, там примерно так и написано. Да, неловко получилось. Неловко. Теперь давай мою концовку. А какая твоя концовка, Семинатор? Да типа полностью подчиняешься и не выходишь никуда? Ты про нее?
You're on.
Ну сейчас давайте. Блять. А потом я хочу открыть ачивку с поцелуем. И тест хочу пройти. Друзья, не забываем донатить. Очень мало донатов на этой игре. Это даже грустно.
You're on a path in the woods.
Так, какая-то сука приглашает меня в ДБД.
And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Что это за тварь меня в ДБД приглашает? Ух, ёб твою мать. Вот это у человека интересный аккаунт. Блять. Зов слава России. Зов слава России. На фоне Путин и Трамп. Интересный человек. Я, наверное, удалю его из друзей. Я буду удалять всех, кто меня приглашает в ДБД, если честно. Так, можешь пойти к хижине. Пойти в хижину. Больше не будет стримов по этой игре. Не, сегодня последний. Если я что-то еще посмотрю, то отдельно сама. Плюс мало народу сидит и не донатит почти на этой игре, поэтому пойдем на что-то более хайповое.
Good. You're still listening to reason.
Завтра, наверное, будем проходить Love and Deep Space.
You lunge. Yes. You open the What's done is done. And there's no going back now. This is what's best for everyone.
Собираемся оставаться здесь навсегда, правда? Конечно, собираемся. Мне тут нравится.
Really? Well, if you ever change your mind, just let me know, I guess. More happy time passes, though the word
Я буду
begins to
на
lose
ПК
its
стримить
meaning.
через эмулятор.
Time, that is, not happy. Happy still has plenty of meaning. Please, shake yourself out of it. We have to get out of here. The little voices, please, fall on deaf ears. Eventually you pass into a blissful state of pure existence. Though words like eventually and pass ceased to have any meaning to you long before that shift, you simply exist. Happy. Forever.
Ура! Это буквально... Это одна из 6 концовок. Отлично. Восхитительно. Восхитительно. Так. Ачивка с поцелуйчиком. Ачивка с поцелуйчиком. Full Guide Achievements. Господи ты, боже мой, сколько тут ачивментов, и ёб твою мать.
Кто здесь хороший мальчик? Ты хороший мальчик.
О, благоверная принцесса, возрадуйся, глалит небеса, и пусть твоя красота украшает этот мир. П.С. Голос воздыхателя.
Капец, анонимчик, спасибо большое за донат, спасибо. Спасибочки. Так, сейчас, дайте я посмотрю, где эта ачивка, как ее открыть. А, я что, ни разу не проходила рут ведьмы? Нет, подожди, я проходила рут ведьмы. Я все вообще руты, в принципе, прошла. Не все? А какой я не прошла? Adversary, Beast, Damsel, Nightmare, Prisoner, Razor, Stranger, Tower, Witch. Adversary точно не было. Давайте сейчас попробуем Adversary пройти. Сейчас, подождите. Я тут, в принципе, смотрю гайд. Так. Войдите в подвал без ножа и солгите принцессе. Ага. Войдите в подвал без ножа и солгите принцессе. Хорошо.
You're on a path in the wood.
Сейчас я себе открою на соседний экранчик. Без ножа и солгите принцессе. Ложь. Я здесь, чтобы спасти тебя.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever.
I see. You're trying to get her to lower her guard. It's a gamble, but it might.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes.
Немножко пообщаемся. Смотрим цепи.
Only making this more difficult. You're making no. You walk up to they're large and.
Okay.
Так, а когда мне
You make your way to the.
Ага, вот мне кинули, получается, клинок. И мы ее слеем.
Without hesitation, you bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally. The wound drives her to the ground. Okay. There's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us. It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your knife cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw. Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got. Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around.
Да мне тут, по-моему, без разницы, что делать, да?
The princess is still chained to the wall. There's nothing she can do to stop you from getting out of here. What if she doesn't succumb to her wounds? Whatever she is so much more dangerous than I thought she'd be. You rush up the stairs and dive past the threshold. You're safe. For now. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with a heavy wooden cane settle in against the...
Я это помню.
Do you think a couple of cuts is enough to do me in? I'm not as frail as you think.
Мы точно на тот труп-то выйдем, господи. Или надо ее было прям зарезать? Я не прочитал, какая у нас концовка. Какая, господи?
Oh, she will... I don't think... lie. It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone.
Что-то, мне кажется, вы вышли не на тот. Мы на кошмар вышли, да? Блядь, да ёперный театр! Ну и какого хуя мы вышли на кошмар? Ой, ну ладно, давайте посмотрим, что тут какая есть, что есть в кошмаре.
It's just an empty frame.
Берем клинок.
You reach down and pick the... Good. Is it gonna be enough, though?
На какой мы идем? А я не знаю.
Something... I don't know.
Кошмар — это была моя самая первая концовка-то на самом деле. Я даже не помню, что именно я открыла. Сейчас, дайте я посмотрю. Deconstructed Hamzel я привела. Вот. Bring the Deconstructed Hamzel. Господи. Тут прям ебанешься, сколько тут концовок на самом деле местами. Ой. Не знаю, сейчас посмотрим, что мы будем делать.
The blade is the only thing you need to finish your task.
Мы ее выпустили в
You're more
прошлый
than
раз, да?
capable of pulling this off, so long as you don't lose
Я
faith
вообще не
in
помню.
yourself.
Я прям тогда с трудом понимала вообще, что происходит.
Those are the words of someone who knows he's sending us to our death. You cross over the threshold and onto a series of...
Как сложно будет просто метнуть нож.
It can't be that hard. But then we'd lose our weapon. We'd have to make it count. Otherwise she'd be furious and we'd be defenseless. If a knife is even enough to do anything against something like her in the first place, it'll be enough.
Так, ну, погнали.
You attempt to step off the stairs and into the pitch black surrounding them, but you're stopped by an invisible force. Why did you do that? What did you think would happen?
Блин, мне кажется, программировать эту игру еще я на Шнуренпай сделана. Это ж вообще с ума сойдешь.
Congratulations, you really lucked out. Of all the things that could have happened from stepping into
Да,
a
это
void,
где она в маске.
nothing is quite possibly the best outcome you could have gotten. You make your way to the bottom of the
Давайте мы с ней
stairs.
останемся. Как вам идея?
As you emerge, you find yourself...
Так. Ничего.
Decide it's best to do nothing.
There you are.
Привет.
I told you I was going to find you.
There has to be a way out. Heart, lungs, liver,
Ой, слышите?
nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart.
Я не стану этого делать. Я не стану помогать тебе выбраться. Я не стану пытаться убить тебя. Так что делай, что хочешь.
Liver, nerves. Are you serious? Lungs, liver. You fling the blade into the void, denying yourself the opportunity to ever slay her and finish your mission. Lungs, liver, nerves. Nobody's happy here, but maybe it's for the best. Liver, nerves, heart.
You poor deluded thing. Do you think a single
Здесь
moment of
хороший
bravery
мальчик.
changes you
Ты
into
хороший
something you're
мальчик.
not? I am what I
Принцессу,
am.
спасибо за
And
мир.
you're always going to
Спасибо
be
за
a
донат, чего.
coward.
Спасибо большое.
Liver. She raises a hand to
Опа,
her
опа,
mask
опа.
and pulls
Ой,
it down.
блядь, какой
You
ужас,
don't get the
ужасный
chance to see
ужас.
what lies beneath before it envelops you. Like a creeping mold, the complete reality of your existence threads its way through your mind. Birth, death, birth again, decay and bloom, a million stitches from a million microscopic wounds you've inflicted on everyone you've ever met, with every muscle you've moved and every word you've ever spoken. No, 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 no.
Let me out.
Your existence hurts them.
Let me out.
A lonely soul in a room by itself, weeping. It lives for 80 years and then it's gone. And then it's there again.
Let me out.
A reprieve. A good life. Love. Children. A steady career. Recognition from your peers. Here one moment. Gone the next. The worms have found their orifices.
Бля, ой, сейчас мне плохо станет.
Let me out.
Diagnosis. It forgets everything it is. Anger, rage, distance, poverty. The lonely soul is lonely again. Love turns to mockery. It dies. It is reborn. Worse. Lonelier.
Let me out.
No, 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 no. No, no. What's happening to us?
Let me out.
This is all too much. I can't keep going. You can't keep going? Well, what are you talking about?
Но он не отвечает.
Oops, I think I broke you. I'll see you soon. You'll know what to do.
Твое тело мертво, но ты живешь. Блять, что глава 3? Что? Как много глав? Мгновение ясности.
You're on a path in the... Shit! Shit! What the hell was that? Who are we? What are we doing? There was a princess, I think.
О, сломленный, здрасте.
It's all so fuzzy. It hurts when I try to remember. You shouldn't know about the princess. At least, not until I... You've already been here, haven't you? I guess. It feels so long ago, almost like we've never left. We have to let her out.
No, that's the opposite of what you're here to do. You have to slay her.
Slay? We decided not to do that, didn't we?
Yeah, we're supposed to let her out.
It's really the only way this works out for us. If you think about it, she's the one with power here. Nobody else can do much of anything.
No, we were supposed to keep her trapped there forever. I think.
We're supposed to be unfeeling. How many times do I have to tell you to snuff out your heart? We can't be unfeeling. Not when there's so much fear everywhere. There's nothing for us to do. We've already tried everything.
We love her, so we have to set her free. Can we love something that hates us? Can we love something that hurts us?
To be given an ounce of kindness from something so cruel would be more pure than any other love. Why are there so many of us? There aren't supposed to be so many of us.
This is bad. You need to get a grip. What did you let happen? How many times have you been here?
Ну, хороший вопрос. Как много раз мы тут все были.
Many times. It feels like we've been here forever. But it also feels like we've barely been here at all. It doesn't matter. Yes, we just have to do what she says and then everything will be fine. It won't. It will be for us. She said so. You're part of everything. If things aren't fine for everything, they won't be fine for you. There's no difference between fine and not fine. It just goes on and
Ой, они меня задолбали. Господи, все, пойдемте, пожалуйста, все. Пойти в хижину.
You slowly make your way through the umbral forest, bumping against unseen trees as you grasp through the darkness for a way forward. But eventually, you do make it to the cabin.
Класс.
Or rather, you make it to the place a cabin should have been. Instead, all you find is an empty hill. No, this isn't right. There's a cabin there. There's always supposed to be a cabin there. Don't ask him about the mirror. He always says he never sees it. He always lies. And he always makes it gone. Stay focused. You still have a job to do, and it's best not to be distracted by fraying thoughts.
Почему он не видит
There is no
зеркало?
mirror. You know that as well as I do.
Я что-то упускаю, потому что он сам зеркало и ну, просто как... Рассказчик, он же эхо просто. Или что? Он не понимает концепции зеркала? Кто мне объяснит, почему рассказчик не видит зеркало?
She's still here, buried deep inside the earth. Just walk up the hill. You always give too much space to the others. It's why you always lose.
Про какое зеркало идет речь? Вот, про вот это, которое в начале никогда рассказчик не видит. Ой. А что плохого в том, чтобы уделить им время? Что, если это поможет им? Что, если им надо быть услышанными?
They've been heard too much. It's why they are the way they are. Exactly. They are delusions, and all that catering to them will do is drag you down to their level. You have to keep moving. Or you could just give up. You walk up the hill, hesitating just beyond the bounds of the cabin. The cabin that isn't there. You've got to clean the mirror, haven't you? You've got to see what's in it. Smash it to pieces. She's on the other side.
Ой.
And we have to let her
Но
out.
тут
It's the
нет
only
зеркала.
way we can
Так,
be
блядь.
free.
Надо мной издеваться не надо, Маккат. Пожалуйста, зеркало есть.
It's the only way we can have our thoughts back.
Ты глянь, меня уже чат газлайтит.
Just go around it. Just do something. It doesn't matter what. Proceed. Proceed to where? I'm afraid you're going to have to be a little more specific.
Идите нахуй, что вы не видите зеркало!
That's a new one. Do you think it'll work? Of course it'll work. He always makes the best decisions. It's why he gets to make them. And it already has worked. It's gone, don't you see? We're one step closer to her. The interior of the cabin is much the same as the exterior of the cabin. A dull, fuzzy dream like nothing. It's empty and isolating, but there's just enough vague shape and unknown texture to suggest the structure they're in. Wrong and unsettling as it may be. The only object of note is a pristine blade buried in the dirt floor.
Макар, ты эту хуйню начал. Я тебе это припомню.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. Take it. It's the only way forward.
Я буду помнить теперь. Что это за человек такой? Гнилой, так сказать. О. Ты должен взять клинок.
You reach down to take the blade, but as you do, the ground beneath it shifts, the weapon sinking deep into the earth. You lean over the hole and gaze into the abyss. It is so very deep, deep in the bowels of the earth. You see something staring back at you. It fills you with dread. It's her. She's watching us. She never stops watching us.
You really are a coward.
With every word she speaks, the princess in the pit blinks closer.
I was joking when I said that way back when. You know that, right?
Closer.
I was having some fun, and I guess I wanted to see if I could melt you.
And closer.
Watching over me forever? That was so brave.
And closer.
But forever is so long. And time erodes everything. Except for me. I've already taken your will, and you're not getting it back. All that's left is for you to take my hand and let me out. It'll be so much fun. You and me, together, exploring the world and spreading fear wherever we go. Well, mostly just me. But you'll get to be there too. A witness. I can even make you a little cage if you want. Gilded and everything.
Кто здесь хороший мальчик? Ты хороший мальчик.
Про какое зеркало вы говорите? Это новая аналогия.
Да ну вас нахрен, я вас на полном серьезе спросила, а вы меня газлайтить начали. Спасибо тоже за донат.
Now don't pause. Don't try to resist. I've already molded you into what I need. And you lost your powers so long ago. Don't bother working yourself into a frenzy to get it back.
Do something. Do anything that isn't taking her hand.
Ты лишь вещь, инструмент. Когда-то был чем-то другим давно-давно, но это... Было ли это тобой или просто вялое измученное воспоминание? Здесь нет другой концовки. Просто возьми ее руку и дай ей выйти.
You extend your hand to hers. For all her past cruelties, the moment feels gentle, tender even. I can't believe you just made me say that. I hate you. The motion is difficult at first, as if something still resists your efforts. But then that resistance gives way, and it's over.
And that's the end. I wonder what we're going to do next.
I didn't think I'd be so tired.
Принцесса, обессилев, опускается на землю.
Why is it so cold?
У меня подонки, змейчики, газлайтеры, абьюзер. Тоже это все читаете голосом того пацана из ТикТока?
She's gone. Yeah. I can finally think again. That mirror's back. What does that mean for us? I'm sure it'll be whisked away just like her.
Maybe it won't be gone. Things are different now, aren't they? Doesn't seem like there's much else to do here.
Finally, we can smash it.
Oh, will you stop with the smashing?
What do we say, boys? One last vain attempt to look at ourselves.
Аргентин, зачился.
Yeah. I think I'd like that.
Seems we've got a majority. All that's left is to give it a look.
Так,
If you ever feel I'm done, my heart, the game, I'll be
I'm just ready. Boy.
ну-ка, свое отражение. Ну, давайте в этот раз я, может быть, не отвечу как сука. А, тут уже ничего. Ничего уже даже нельзя выбрать ответить. Так, привет, красотка. Страшная
Something finds-
пиздец. Так. Концовка с поцелуем.
You may
Wait, really?
You tried it. Your shouts and pleas are met.
Что у меня за взрывы, господи, за окном? Что происходит? Так, мы ее убиваем.
Without hesitation, though
Мы
your
ее опять
nerves are
убиваем.
seizing,
Заканчиваем начатое.
you steel your resolve and take another step closer to the princess. You probably won't make it out of here alive, but you can still make sure that she won't make it out of here either. Excuse me? What's this about not making it out of here alive? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone
Ну,
in this
зеркало
room is
можно
still
игнорировать, когда
standing
ты в
right
первый
now.
раз заходишь в хижину. В
Don't act
конце
so
его нельзя.
surprised. Can you not feel all those gashes and holes pulling you apart? If the princess doesn't do you in here, blood loss is certain to finish the job. You take another step forward, and the princess lunges towards you. The two of you enter one last exchange, a flurry of blade and claw and fleshy ribbons, and then you stop. Either you collapse on the ground, and the princess collapses beside you. Blood pools around you both.
Почти
You
романтично, я
watch each
считаю.
other fade away.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
Silence as the room starts to get fuzzy around you. You've paid a terrible price, but you've saved us all. It's over.
If you think this is it, you're sorely mistaken. One way or another, I'll make sure you pay for this.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Нравится. Ну, она тебе угрожала, но уже ничего не делать. Все, ты помер. Так, отличненько. Дайте сохранюсь на всякий случай.
Oh, if he doesn't remember what, brilliant.
О,
We need to keep...
приспособленец, точно. Так, теперь зайдите в подвал с ножом, отдайте ведьме, назовите ее красивой. Хе.
The interior of the cabin is a... You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it.
Ты самая красивая женщина в мире. Как вчера Аргенти. Я не обманщик.
That's not actually a bad idea. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing...
Да-да-да. Привет.
I recognize that voice as easily as I recognized your nervous little footsteps coming up the path. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused with someone else. She seems Friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. That's
Ой,
not
это
fair.
где она кошка
How would she know
девочка?
that?
Ой.
So, we've dropped the pretenses. Good.
You made a comment back in the woods about having been here before.
Блин, готова целовать
Now she's
руки тем,
acting
кто
like the two of you
озвучил, что
already know each
принцессу,
other.
что голоса.
Oh,
Отличная
no.
работа.
You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it. So, you really don't...
Так, что... Я не хочу делать тебе больно, но между нами явно надломлено доверие. Возьми это в знак моей доброй воли. Дайте ей клинок.
You can't be serious.
Сейчас она нас убьет, и мы скажем, что она красивая, да, перед смертью?
Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable
Ну, за
assets. We
Пепита,
can't just
привет.
give it to her. What if she uses it to kill us? As do I. Abstain? You abstain? She's going to kill us if we give it to her.
Так, у нас тут не демократия. Мы отдаем ей клинок.
You're going to get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet.
Пока, Лазарик.
She eyes it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
You hear a clanging of metal against the dirt floor, and the chains fall from the princess's wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart. It's a shame we just gave her a weapon, because if I were her, I'd use it on us right now. Luckily for us, you're not her. Oh, we sure think alike, though. I can promise you that. Whatever you say next, you better make it count. She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face.
What do you think happens now?
Ой, не знаю, малышка, ну ты такая сладкая вообще. Она, знаете, вот все с этим хвостиком, такой лисик прям. Такая бледючая вообще. Бледючая. Ты прекрасна. Я правда хочу спасти тебя, и такая с единственным способом сделать это.
She pulls back, clearly caught off guard by whatever nonsense you just said to her.
Какая прелесть! Это такая котища!
I thought it was nice.
Сейчас должен воздыхатель появиться, мне кажется.
Whether it's nice depends on if we meant it. We didn't mean it. Did we? If you were lying, we'd all know. But unfortunately, you weren't lying.
What? What do you mean by that? What kind of game are you playing?
The look of surprise that momentarily softened her features vanishes as she steels her nerves. And then she buries the blade in your heart. What? No, come on, that's not right. I told you. I told you.
Да ничего
This is what she
страшного,
was
господи, мы
going
же
to
все равно не умрем на самом деле.
Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you. You...
Она сейчас расстроится.
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
О боже, Дрелка, как давно я не видела тебя. Привет, Лида Лав Ричард. Лидия Лав Ричард. Я тоже тебя давно не видела.
Why? Why did you let me do this?
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Так, как переводится reconcile with torn? Это вот что мне надо в 3 главе сделать. Торн это шип, да?
You're on a path in the woods. I can't believe she actually stabbed us. I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to bite us.
Если сейчас не появится воздыхатель, я разочаруюсь.
Yeah, we know. You already got your I told you so's in while we were bleeding out. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was and am
Помириться с
on the
шипом.
right side of that argument.
Ладно.
Oh, you're far from being on the right side of anything.
Привет,
You're fixated on the
красавчик.
past, whereas what you should be is fixated on the future. Oh, a visionary. I like it. Tell me more. Gladly, my dear fellow. By cruelly turning on the princess in her moment
Обожаю
of vulnerability,
воздыхателя.
we made ourselves an enemy. But by mastering our fear and insecurity and handing over our power, we've begun a journey to something so much deeper. I like journeys. Traveling is a bit of a passion of mine. It makes me so relatable. Now, where are we off to?
Блин, если их канонить, все голоса, упрямец это Будхил, воздыхатель это Аргенти, а приспособленец это Авантюрин.
Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love.
Либо Сампа. Либо вот Сампа, да-да-да.
She hates us. Does she? She hesitated before stabbing us to death.
У меня нет расписания стримов, но обычно я стримлю 5-6 дней в неделю после половины 7 по Москве.
As ridiculous as this guy is, maybe he has a point. I don't know if I necessarily buy into his whole love journey thing,
Рассказчик это
but
Рацу.
maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change, so maybe she'll realise that things don't have to end in
Сломлен это
violence.
Блейд.
You know, maybe you're right. In which case, I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try.
А параноик это кто тогда? Мне почему-то представляется вот это Хох, или как ее там зовут, которая зелененькая. Она все время такая напуганная.
Give what another try exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right? It makes no difference if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking your cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom.
Freedom.
Oh, are you now? Great, so you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died at least once. Twice, actually. Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare you the little introduction I had planned. You already know about the princess, and clearly you already know that she's dangerous. So don't muck this up. It's bad enough that this isn't your first time through.
Все, пойдемте в хижину, ребята. Давайте. Нам надо
It
женщину
isn't long
целоваться.
before you find yourself at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one too. Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters. The princess is a threat to you.
Думаешь,
She's a threat to
перечище это
me, and
искорка?
most
Да,
importantly,
кстати, что-то есть
she's a
такое,
threat
да.
to the world. You know what you have to do.
А кто скептик? Блин, скептик хз. Герта может быть, или Скрюлун. Кто может походить на скептика из Ханкая? Хладнокровный хз, как будто, может, Кавка, нет? Не, Рацу у нас уже рассказчик. Хладнокровный Жуан Мэй? Может быть. Я про женских персонажей плохо знаю. Хладнокровный Блейд, мне кажется. Так у нас же Блейд сломленный, нет? А, Дайхэнь хладнокровный, да, кстати, тоже звучит.
The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior
Ну это
at all
точно
anymore.
Рудан Аргенти,
The burned
ребят.
out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here,
Красота
charred wood
какая.
still reeking of ash. But beneath it lies the fresh smell of spring growth after rain, the promise of new life in the wreckage of the old. The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table, a pristine... Wait, this isn't right.
Клинка
This is
нету.
supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? We gave it to her last time. She can't still have it, can she? Well, it's not here. And if she has it... Let me guess. You want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon.
Это не Роза, это
It's just the
скорее
smart thing
Маки.
to do. I wouldn't be so hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have
А
it.
маки вроде...
That's not how this is
Это не
supposed to
самый
work.
лучший цветок символики, нет?
If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We have already shown her our heart. Now she has to show us hers. Unless her heart tells her to stab us, which doesn't seem
Маки
unlikely.
ядовитые.
So, yes, I
Я
agree.
знаю, что
Let's make
маки
sure
усыпляют.
we get
Еще
on her good
маками
side.
можно ширнуться. Маки даже запрещено же выращивать. Их наркоманы собирают. У нас, я помню, однажды в огороде у бабушки вырос мак. И прям несколько мужиков доебывало, типа, можем вас сорвать? Мак – мифологический образ, знак сна и смерти, от цветущей небывалой красоты, символ неувядающей молодости и женского очарования. Ага, понял. Как мы вообще должны сюда спуститься? Я вижу только это зеркало.
Yeah, why didn't you mention the mirror? I didn't mention a mirror because there isn't a mirror.
Какое зеркало?
But he says there isn't one. That's got to count for something, right? Either way, I say we take a look. It feels like it's been forever since we've actually seen ourselves. For all we know, our feathers are all out of place. And that's why we haven't yet won her heart. Yeah, we can't go around looking disheveled. A real go-getter takes care of his appearance. So, is the door to the basement behind the mirror? I promise you there isn't a mirror, and there isn't a door to the basement. The entrance is more of a burned-out frame than anything else, and it's right there on the far side of the room. Do you really not see it?
За зеркалом не вижу.
You step forward. You know what you have to do. Wipe away the grit from the mirror, and behold our handsome features.
Handsome features. Вытереть зеркало.
You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement. You really thought there was a mirror there, didn't you? That can't be good. As if things weren't unpredictable enough. Alas, our fine features remain unseen. We'll just have to trust that she'll find us beautiful as we are. Well, seems like the only way to go is forward, isn't it? Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just put on a good face and have our wits about us.
Ну, погнали,
You
девочки.
step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been extinguished. Yet fresh shoots of thorny branches are already weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around you. Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to brush past their jagged points with ease, at least on the way down. But you don't need to think about the way back up just yet. That's a matter for after the world's been saved. These thorns are an expression of her pain. I know it. She's calling out for help. Her voice, worn down by pain and suspicion, hobbles up the stairs.
I can't get away from you, can I? We kill each other and you come back. You let me kill you and you come back. I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me.
Так, что тут у нас? Я просто хочу освободить тебя, искренне.
I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave. So, come down and talk. It's not like I can stop you.
Пойдемте.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward. You step out into what was once a vast open cavern, now overrun by briars and prickles and thistles, the space thick with hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh?
Ты чего, малышка? Я здесь не для того, чтобы смеяться. Я хочу освободить тебя, если ты позволишь мне.
I want to trust you.
Her grip tightens on the blade.
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself?
Так, что сказать? Здесь не только ты жаждешь свободы. Могу ли я что-то сказать, чтобы ты поверила мне?
I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
She's right. There's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something
Так,
before she comes up
помолчи.
with a scheme to get out of here on her own.
We don't
Дашка,
need
здорово, мы
words
ща
to
будем
send a
сосаться.
message. It is through action that we can show her our adoration, our devotion, our kindness.
Не знаю, я считаю, воздыхатель убежал бы, если бы увидел это самое, которая у нас была большая маме. Тогда, видимо, время разговоров прошло. Только поступки имеют значение. Потянуться к рынку.
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers. For a moment, she clutches it even tighter, her knuckles going white with the effort. But then the tension fades. Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to take the weapon. You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms.
She trusts us. She trusts us. Doesn't that set your heart aflutter?
Yeah, a little. It could just be nerves. Being this close to her does bring back unpleasant memories, but I don't know, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good. Like we're special to her.
Мне нравится, как Дашка все время приходит на тот момент, когда что-то говорится про You are my special.
We are special to have gained an ounce of trust from a maiden so guarded. Now all that remains is to free her from her bindings.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's show her how much both of us have changed. Or, hear me out, we slay her right here, right now. She's never been so helpless, and if we don't take advantage of that, we may never get another chance. That sounds like a splendid idea. You should listen to him.
I see that the lines have been drawn.
It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2. You don't count. And why shouldn't he count? Because he's clearly not one of us. That doesn't matter. He's been with us the whole time. He should
Да
get a say.
пошел он нахуй. Простите.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
Ой, освободите ее.
Yes, what a good idea. Let's cut her free. Oh, so you're suddenly team free her? You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a decision. I can do whatever I want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Let's free this princess.
Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Let him join us and be merry. We are all united by our passion.
That's right. What he said. We've already given him a chance at redemption. And who says I don't deserve another?
Вот
I
сколько можно
really mean it this
стараться,
time. I'm
господи.
big enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I want to help you all free her.
And I have no problem with that. Welcome to the team. You're one of us now. One of the good guys.
You take the blade to the thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches, relaxing only slightly as the blade slices into the thick vegetation rather than her arm. And she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her and stab her in the heart.
Such a pathetic attempt at distraction and subterfuge. Our blade is a dashing sword, and every dashing sword is an extension of its hero. It won't slip.
You're right. He can't even make it slip, can he? He's a bit of a nobody. Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning. The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
Да ты всегда меня ненавидишь, когда я с принцессой что-то делаю хорошее.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
Do you see the way she's looking at us? Kiss her. Kiss her now before the moment ends.
Прям сейчас? Ну ладно, целую, погнали.
Can we actually do that? No, you can't. Absolutely not.
You know as well as I do that we can.
And we wouldn't want to throw away a chance for a special moment, now would we? If I were only capable of throwing myself off a bridge. Well, are you going to describe our steamy, romantic kiss?
Да, действительно, рассказчик, будешь описывать?
You lean in and you kiss her.
Поподробней, пожалуйста.
And
Да.
she reciprocates enthusiastically. You kiss. It's done. Are you happy now?
Come on now, this is the big moment. You can do better than that.
Ugh, fine. You and the princess lock eyes and stare deep into each other's souls with all the roaring emotion that comes from letting what once was hatred turn into pure, unbridled passion.
Красавчик.
Are you making fun of us? And then each of you close your eyes and kiss. Words can describe neither the nuclear fire nor the oceanic depth of your connection.
Когда покрутил варианты ответов на Керактера чисто. Ты можешь лучше? Давай.
Please. I think he actually likes romance. If history itself were not about to end, historians would document this moment for the rest of time. Musicians would write era-defining ballads, and great artists would expend entire lifetimes trying to merely capture the spark you hold right now. He's making fun of us.
It doesn't matter either way, because this is good stuff.
Блять, воздыхатель, сука. Вот такой хорни.
I'm aware of my skills.
О, ведомые мои навыки, ну ты глянь.
But unfortunately for you, the moment doesn't last forever. You open your eyes, the princess smiles gently up at you. Time for you to damn the whole world to oblivion, I suppose.
That was nice.
Her hand slips into yours, and the two of you rush to the basement stairs. Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so graciously allowed you downstairs are now blocking your only way out.
Жаль, да, не нарисовали поцелуй, хотел посмотреть.
Please, after all the trials we've been through, do you really think a few measly thorns can stop us? Love is an even more powerful weapon than our blade.
We cut through those other vines just fine, they're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting, we can just move them out of the way. What a pathetic showing, really.
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both meant for so much more than this.
Срезать шипы.
As you swing your blade into the thorns covering the basement stairs, they yield. Both you and the princess ascend the stairs without obstacle. This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to deserve this?
Рассказчик, принцесса Смикс and blushes in excitement.
Your nightmare is our dream.
And chuckles.
Whatever world would condemn star-crossed lovers like us to a cycle of violence and despair isn't a world worth saving. We'll weave something new together. Something better.
You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance. We've already made our decision.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Сделать шаг к своей свободе.
Hands clasped, the two of you open the door and step out into a new day. You irredeemable murderers.
Спасибо.
What do we do now? Where's everything going? Why is it so cold?
Бля.
She's gone. And there's that.
This doesn't... Yes. I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt, right? If they think it's bad, I'm with them.
Глаза кажутся маленькими, далекими по ходу его приближения. Ну и мы опять на себя смотрим, мы страшная хуйта.
Flickering light.
Ну-ка, Ну-ка, что она скажет про этот сосуд, интересно. Что ты думаешь об этом сосуде?
This one yearns for connection she feels she doesn't deserve. Even when shown compassion, she hid herself away. She will make for a cautious heart. Do not mourn her. She isn't alone anymore.
Ну, это хорошая история.
I will long for your return, but we will meet again.
You're on a path in the...
Так, ну я тут сохранюсь, может быть, потому что я еще сама буду в соло играть. Но на данный момент, на сегодня, я все. И думаю, с этой игрой тоже все. Я в нее поиграла сколько хотела. Мы, кстати, даже половину ачивок не открыли, прикиньте. У нас еще 57 неоткрытых ачивок, прикиньте. 57. Капец. Но я хотела ее посмотреть, эту игру, и в целом, ну, я довольна. Я еще, наверное, в соло ее попрохожу, посмотрю, что как. Блин, хорошая игра. Хорошая вообще, отличная. Сколько она стоила? Я ее по скидке покупала. Сколько у нее full прайс? Full прайс, она 650 рублей. Но я ее покупала по скидке, так что мне хорошо подвезло. Так, ребят, а я тогда с вами прощаюсь. Большое спасибо вам за сегодняшний стрим. Большое спасибо всем, кто со мной сегодня был. Завтра, значит, сыграем в Love and Deep Space. Будем смотреть на красивых мужиков, копить на злодейского злодея, который там появится. Потому что, ну, хотелось бы выбить злодейского злодея. Я с вами прощаюсь. Ты проходить будешь? Ой, не буду. Я с вами прощаюсь до завтра. Большое спасибо всем за сегодня. Отдельно благодарность Боди, как папику стрима. Всех люблю, всем пока-пока.